In a world where fashion is not just about clothes, but a way of life, there is one style that stands out above the rest: Italian style, where effortless chic meets sophistication, grace, and boldness. It is a blend of timeless elegance and daring individuality, creating a look that is both classic and contemporary. The Italian woman knows that true style isn't about following trends, but embracing a sense of confidence that radiates from within. From Milan to Rome, Florence to Sicily, each piece of clothing tells a story of craftsmanship, of passion for beauty, and of an artful balance between comfort and luxury. Join me today as we delve into the secrets behind Italian style, the key wardrobe elements, the attention to detail, and how to capture that effortless Italian flair that transcends fashion itself. Grab your tea or coffee and let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel, The United Colors of Style, where the divas are into details. So without further ado, let's dive in. Similarly to my video discussing the differences and similarities between French girl style and Scandi style, I just want to reiterate that I know a lot of people get very sensitive and protective over cultural videos regarding fashion from a specific country. And I just want to reiterate that there are differences in regions in Italy, specifically between Rome, Milan, and Southern Italian style. Each region in Italy has its own distinct culture and heritage. And I want to acknowledge that and also respect that, but know that I'm not specifically talking about any one region. I'm just doing a more holistic, generalized overview. And I also want to reiterate the difference between influencers and normal people. Again, influencers are trying to sell you an idea, a dream, a lifestyle, and normal people are just living their normal lives while also looking extremely fabulous. And another thing I want to note while researching for this video, I realize that more and more people who are invited to Fashion Week, for example, are starting to look all the same. Like, I'm having a hard time differentiating Parisian Fashion Week photo shoots versus Milan Fashion Week photo shoots. All the influencers and models who show up to these events are starting to wear very similar outfits, which is why I love looking at our more mature women and their street style, because I feel like they're able to stay more true and more authentic to what actual Italian style is versus the younger generations who are more globalized through social media and through the marketing for a lot of these fashion brands that are completely worldwide. So I want to keep that in mind too. In my opinion, I believe that, the older generations are the ones who are kind of maintaining the identity and tradition of Italian style. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on them. I will include some influencer photos, but to me, again, it's tough because it's starting to all look the same and kind of blend into each other. Before we dive into the style analysis, I wanted to give a brief overview of Italian women in media and how at least I perceive their media presence and how it's evolved, and also how it informs their style today. Italian style is synonymous with elegance, sophistication, and effortless charm. From cinema icons like Sophia Loren and Monica Bellucci, Italian media shaped the world's perception of style, blending timeless beauty with confidence and sensuality. These figures personified la dolce vita, an ideal of living with grace and allure. And I feel like so much of the time when I see so many of these beautiful women who really seem to embrace their feminine curves and really kind of lean into that boldness and that unapologetic, feminine, womanly confidence. It's just so appealing. It just seems so authentic to them and so empowering. And I think that's a lot of what draws people into Italian women and Italian girl style because it is so confident and bold and unapologetic. And I feel like these references that I have on screen are from, older movies. But now I would say the most recent trend I've seen throughout media and specifically social media has been the whole tomato girl summer, which again doesn't do it justice at all, but kind of leans into that effortless, boldness because red is such a bold color and it really emphasizes wearing silhouettes that are more form fitting and so kind of leaning into that more bold femininity that I think is reminiscent from the older film and media. First up, we're going to look at color palette, prints, and texture. So, what I see most often is the Italian color palette is both rich and warm, very much inspired by their surroundings, so more of that Mediterranean color palette. So, think along the lines of very earthy tones like terracotta and burnt orange, combined with classic neutrals like black, beige, and navy. But also, they love the juxtaposition and to add that flair, that pizzazz, that boldness by having a lot more bold and bright colors, which I think is just so interesting and evokes so much fun and richness to an outfit. So when I say bold colors, I'm really thinking more along the lines of emerald green, royal blue, deep burgundy. So, really, with the intention of making a statement, being bold, and adding to that confidence and flair that you see throughout Italian style. Moving on to prints and textures, I think when it comes to prints, you see a lot of bold prints. And when I say bold prints, it means not those more flirty, dainty, small prints, a lot more prints that are larger, are a bit more bold, and aren't as subtle as smaller prints. And the prints that I see most often are floral print, of course, cheetah print, as well as stripes and other maybe more traditional prints. But regardless, I think a lot of times Italian women aren't afraid to let these prints be bold and to be the star of the show in the outfit. Similarly, I think with texture and their use of texture, it's very much about evoking different textures within an outfit, again, to play into the boldness and the confidence that you see so much throughout Italian style. So I think a lot of times they will use fringe or they will use tweed or they'll use a certain specific type of bold button or fixture or embellishment to really make a large and bold statement in their outfits. Next up are accessories, and I feel like this is where Italian women really come to play and have fun and to shine. Of course, they do love a bold print and a bold color, but something about their accessory choices feels so intentional and so reflective of their personal style. I think from top to bottom, you can really tell that each accessory is well loved and was really intentionally chosen. So when you look at their sunglasses, a lot of times they're either in a bold color or a bold silhouette, which I find so fun and funky. And then, usually there's always a beautiful silk necktie scarf that is in some sort of bold color or bold print. And I feel like it just adds this really effortless elegance and just really elevates any more neutral outfit with just a beautiful, bold silk scarf. And then continuing, I think they always have a really beautiful handbag, something that feels very, again, bold in choice and really intentional in decision making, but also just makes a statement, but is somehow still cohesive with the rest of the outfit, which I love that balance and that thin line. It's like on the edge of being a little bit too much, but just enough to make it really classic and elegant. And then also, they really love a bold necklace, a bold shoe, a really fun belt, and just anything any accessory you can think of. Honestly, I feel like they do such a great job of really encompassing what fashion should be about, which is fun, creativity, and really just trying to embrace having a great time with fashion. Next up, we have feminine silhouettes and waist emphasis. And from my observations, Italian women make a very concerted effort to use their garments to either create an A-line silhouette or an hourglass silhouette. And when I look at the A-line silhouette choices, I see a really great balance of relaxed yet tailored, sleek but comfortable, so very much showing off the curves in a very subtle yet polished way. And then when I look at the hourglass silhouette outfit examples, I often see this achieved by belts or the actual structure of the garment, or even by tucking pieces in to define the waist. So it's all about flattering the natural shape without overdoing it, making it very easy breezy, but still chic and elevated at the same time, which really gives off that put together, effortless, cool girl vibe that Italian women definitely embody. Next up, we have functionality. And I guess this section could also be called practicality as well. But I really wanted to highlight how so many Italian women are able to cultivate this very effortless style through wearing clothing and shoes that are very practical and make a lot of sense for the context and the environment that they're in. In a previous video, I discussed how in order to be effortless, you need to be situationally aware. And I think Italian women are really good at that. A lot of their clothing is made of these very natural fibers like linen and cotton that make sense for hot and warm environments. And I think a lot of times, especially with their shoes, they are practical, but at the same time, they're able to find so many different forms of footwear that are still so chic and elevated, yet are extremely comfortable for walking and biking and their day to day life demands, which to me is the ultimate epitome of style and being fashionable. Being able to look really cool, but also be really practical. Because as I always emphasize on this channel, it's so important to feel confident and comfortable in your outfits. And the only way to do that is to have an element of practicality so that you can go about your day to day life without overthinking, oh, these shoes are making me uncomfortable, or oh, this polyester dress is making me smell and is exacerbating, my natural body odor, etc. So I think Italian women do a really great job of understanding this and mastering it while still not foregoing their stylishness and effortless cool girl vibe. And now to the opposite side of the spectrum, we have heels and makeup. And I know you're thinking, but you just talked about practicality and functionality. I know. And if any of you guys have ever watched Alison Bornstein's styling videos, I highly recommend first and foremost. But she always talks about the importance of having that tension in your style words and that kind of juxtaposition or contrast. And I think this is where Italian women really kind of shine. So, although they are very practical in a lot of ways, like we discussed in the previous section, they also do add that boldness and femininity through makeup and through the use of heels. They do wear heels. I feel like I have seen so many examples of women, old, young, in between, in heels walking around Rome, Milan, Florence, etc. And they are locals, and this is authentic to their style. But, it's just a part of the culture. I think that there is this idea of very, again, traditional femininity. And the idea that they want to look good, they want to look put together, they want to feel like an empowered woman. And I think a lot of times, heels and makeup can really emphasize that. Like, I know when I really put on a look, I feel like, okay, yeah, I'm that girl. And I think that's a lot of what we see when we think of Italian women, especially in media, that confidence, that sensuality, that boldness. And I think that is where, again, that tension that Alison Bornstein talks about so much is really found in Italian style. So, in conclusion, I really want to encourage you all to take inspiration from Italian style. And a couple questions you can ask yourself to really take that inspiration is, what makes sense for my environment? What makes sense for my day to day lifestyle? What makes me feel bold and confident and embraces my femininity? And again, that can be defined however you want to define it. But again, to embody that Italian woman's style, I think it's really about boldness. So you need to define what that means to you and take that time to reflect, write it down in a journal, etc., and then apply it to your shopping habits. Do you like bold prints? Do you like bold colors? Would you feel comfortable wearing heels? Does that make sense for your environment, etc., day to day? So really take that inspiration, see what essences and what energies and vibes you like from a specific aesthetic or a specific cultural way of dressing, and apply it to your own life to really embody what is making you so drawn to and connected to a certain style or aesthetic. As always, we'll be ending today's video with an inspirational fashion quote. Today's inspirational quote comes from the Princess of Italy herself, Miuccia Prada. She states, "What you wear is how you present yourself to the world, especially today when human contacts are so quick. Fashion is instant language." Thank you so much for watching and sticking around for the entire video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!